All of you Timmys out there want to see some high power creatures, huh? Well, let's get started. First off, you got to pick from 7, because we have 7 with the power of 12. We got Krakens, Leviathans, Phyrexians, Golems, Elder Dinosaurs, and a couple of Kozileks here in the 10 spot. You'd think that these guys would be the biggest. I mean, these all sound pretty big, but they get way bigger from here. 12 is hardly a drop in the bucket once we get further down in the list. So let's go see some really powerful creatures with number 9, Ludovic's Abomination. You might say, hey, wait a second, this thing's 0 power. No, it flips over, and it turns into an abomination from a test subject. And it has 13 power, so it's a pretty big beater, and it's our number 9 spot. At number 8, we have Death Shadow. And congratulations if you actually get the full 13 power here. You're either dead, or you're running some sort of crazy shenanigans. But anyways, next up at number 7, we have Croson Cloud Scraper. And he has a tax that you gotta pay every turn during your upkeep, and he costs a whopping 10. But he's still a huge 13/13 body with the sweet little morph effect. And at number 6, we have Withengar Unbound. This is actually a picture of Elbrus the Binding Blade. And this artifact, once you meet the conditions, transforms into a giant 13/13. So, I mean, we've had a lot of things that have tax effects, have to transform or flip, or even, you have to be dead to get the full effect of 13/13. When can we just get something that's, 13 power right away? Oh yeah, there we go. That's what we needed. Emrakul, the Promised End. And it's the first Emrakul on this list. A little, not so subtle foreshadowing there, but she has 13 power and is a beater and has protection from instants and is flying and trample and is a great card. So she's here at the number 5 spot, and we're going to move on to something that digs through the ground. And although we've gone from a mighty Eldrazi to, an ancestor of an earthworm, this thing has 15 power now, so we jumped clear over 14 power to 15 power. Worldspine Worm at number 4 is an awesome card, and even when he dies, he still just leaves tons of power on the battlefield. So he is a pretty powerful little worm. But let's leave the worms behind and go back to Eldrazi with number 3, Emrakul again. Emrakul the Ion's Torn. She might be banned in Commander, but that's because she's too powerful. Powerful numbers 15 power, flying protection from colored spells, Annihilator 6, just all sorts of great stuff on this card. It's no wonder that she's banned in Commander, but I wish she would be unbanned. But let's move back into worm territory. It's getting too wormy on this list for my taste. And this Grouch's friend is 16 power, and it can be convoked onto the battlefield. It's indestructible. So, it's a pretty powerful worm. He looks pretty big in the picture, so he's got to be powerful. All Timmys love him. 16 power. Really smashing through this list so far, and we're at the honorable mentions already. 99 power for the BFM, and infinite power for Infinity Elemental. Both these are from unsets, so they're not playable, shown by their silver border. You might be able to get somebody to let you rule 0 one of these in, but otherwise they don't really count towards the list. That's why they're just here on the honorable mention. But I would be remiss if I also didn't give a shout out to the humble Squirrel. Squirrel at 1 power. All you need is 21 squirrels. Think about that, little tiny squirrels to overcome any creature on this list. Yeah, that kind of shows the limitations of power in Magic. So sorry to all you Timmys if I'm letting you down here, but 21 squirrels can overtake any large creature in Magic the Gathering. That's amazing. So squirrels have their place too. Let them chatter away. And it feels like a natural time to pitch the channel. Subscribe to us. It doesn't cost you anything, unless you're a Patreon. And we're all over the place, so you can follow us anywhere. We give away free cards. But let's move on to number 1. And number 1 is Merit Lodge. Wait a second. This is just an enchantment talking about sleep. It's another one of those ones that transforms. Not really transforms. You sacrifice it and it turns into a token. And that token is awesome. It's 20 power, indestructible, flying, wins you the game. And all you had to do is have a couple of snow things laying around to wake it up. So that is number 1. Thanks for following along for our 10 highest power creatures in Magic the Gathering, and we'll see you next time.